everyone, before I talk today's video about the third season of Lost, I just want to like talk to you over, guys, about what's going on and why I haven't been posting like daily or like maybe like once a day or twice a day on my video. Well, it's for one, I was trying to finish the third season of Lost, and I'm telling you right now, this is probably the longest season and like throughout the course of the 6 seasons in Lost, and and second, I've been like thinking of different ideas of like what's appropriate that I want to put on my channel, in terms of like entertainment, theme park news, gaming related news, information for you guys, and I don't know, but that's another topic discussion video, guys. I'll post later. But anyways, let's hop into it right now. All right, so where we left off, what if you remember from season 2, is that Jack, Sawyer, Kate were captured on the dock. And then all of a sudden, when the scene opens, we first see Jack, open, he's in this room, doesn't know where he is, he's seems a little isolated from the others. And then all of a sudden, he tries to meet this mysterious woman that I'll talk a little bit later on as the this video progresses. Tries to tempt him to free, and all of a sudden, he holds this woman hostage and everything. But apparently, we also meet another Dharma station. It's called the Dharma Hydra, which was a research, I believe, research for animals and medical and everything. And it was just this mysterious, type of, Dharma station that had like bears and like aquatic wild like sharks and everything. And also it has a modern day station too, where keeping surveillance about what's going on with the animal activities and everything. And I don't know, and as you see this guy in the picture, I'll talk a little bit later in this video too, because like I said, I don't want to spoil too much. But anyways, transitioning to that, we transitioned to also see Sawyer in a cage too. Now remember, like I said, Sawyer was he was persuaded by Michael to go to the docks, if you remember from season 2, and all of a sudden he gets thrown up in a cage, doesn't know where he is as well. It's the same situation as Jack and everything. But then again, also he meets this mysterious fellow, and apparently this kid name is Carl, which I also talked a little bit later in the video too. That Carl was, apparently, he was thinking, Sawyer was thinking it's part of the others and everything. And, and these cages were actually, actually part of the Dharma station too, of the Dharma Hydra, which was, a station for bears. And Sawyer, he figures a way how to rig the system and trying to get out and play these circuits and everything. But unfortunately, then all of a sudden, Carl escapes, and all of a sudden Kate is taken from inside the station and throw in the cage as well across from Sawyer. Now, this is kind of where things kind of get started a little interesting. So, Kate is getting brought by this mysterious guy who is apparently not known name is Henry Gale. His name is actually Benjamin Linus. Now, I'm not going to go into a whole brief background description for you guys of who Benjamin Linus is, because I don't want to bore you guys, but anyways, I want to talk about a little bit about Benjamin a little bit. So Benjamin, aka who is his mysterious fake name Henry Gale, he was actually brought to the island as a small boy. I would say probably around the age of, I'm guessing, 12 or 14. His mother died of childbirth while giving birth to him, and his father was he found this ad in his paper, and then he was taken to this station in this island, but as a janitor, or aka workman. And apparently this is where he started living the story a story of who he is and everything. And we also kind of see the origins of what the Dharma Initiative is as well, and what happened and everything, and pretty much we see a little bit of the background of who the Dharma Initiative is, and and as said, I think this is probably the most interesting season because they had their own housing and everything pretty much, and excuse me, and also what happened and everything, because like I said, these people were living in this barracks type of station, almost like you see in army bases or anything that's in the military, same situation. But then again, also they're protected by these sonic-proof barriers or whatever, pretty much. And I don't know, and it's so, and because if they went outside barriers, they said that there was like evil forces and everything, and pretty much for you guys. But anyways, I actually did find this map on like I said, I just random Google imaging for you guys, and apparently this is what the like the layout, what the the barracks will look like. That was provided by the Dharma Initiative and everything for you guys. Like you said, there was a school for kids, food, playground, and everything, etc., etc. But then again, also like I said, as Ben grows up, he decided he was sick of his tired father, and all of a sudden he makes this fellow named Jacob, and also the whole area gets purged, like killed, like you've seen the movie Purge, pretty much like same deal. And he tear gassed his own father, and he it was in a van and everything, and pretty much, and it was kind of like, I don't know, kind of cool and everything for you guys, but like wearing a gas mask for protection. But all of a sudden now, Kate decided, she said she had enough with this and she wanted to escape. So, with her, as with her body weight and her body, she was able to like escape through the cages and everything. And but then again, like I said, because Sawyer and her were like working for on these rocks and everything. But then again, there's a little bit of romance going on. I apologize, it's a little bit graphic description about my eyes, guys. But Kate decides, because of Sawyer's life, she falls in love with him, and but then again, also, but like it's just season also like Jack also sees that like the monitor station with the cameras and everything, and he gets a little bit jealous and he gets heartbroken. And then again, like I said, but Sawyer wants Kate to leave it, and in this episode, let's go every man for himself, where make sure they secure their survival and their safety and everything for you guys and everything. But then again, also Jack decides to make a deal that Kate and Sawyer are set to be free, but he also says to stay here, and because he found out that Benjamin also had a tumor on his back. And, he was wondering whose x-rays were there, so he, mutually agrees to do the surgery and the procedure, but he has other plans that, that he, rips an artery, and, and pretty much that, he said if he doesn't get the call from her to make sure they're alright, he will let Benjamin die. And all of a sudden, and this is I was really surprised, but like I said, the anesthesia was wearing off, and he was like pretty much a wide awake and hearing the whole conversation there at the time. But as Ben, progresses and gets better, he also takes a Sawyer to the island, and not noticing that, but also that there's two islands. There, Ben's island and the island, and the other island were Jack and the rest of the survivors of Oceanic Flight 8115, and also it was like showing, like saying, the depiction of where like how they got transferred to the island. It said there's more than than meets the eye. There's not just one island. There's multiple. There's two islands, and also but also we also kind of cool things too. We see more of a background of Desmond. And Desmond apparently, because they say that's how I was questioning how he was getting fleshed. Well, apparently during his lifetime he actually had this long time girlfriend Penelope, and how they met was that he was a monk. But apparently, with his drinking problem and everything, he decided to, the monastery let him go. But then again, also going a little more backwards in the series of the third season, that they went back to the Pearl Station, John Locke and everything, and they found this mysterious guy in there. And then all of a sudden, Echo, decides he hears voices and trying to follow his brother. Well, fortunately, Echo kind of decides it should be pinched to reality instead of ghost, and the monster, aka the Black Smoke, well, fortunately takes his life and everything, and decides to end him and kill him. But then again, there's 6 at all science points in north and everything, and then all of a sudden we beat our first villain. His name is Mikhail. He was actually brought here randomly by the Dharma Initiative and everything. And he was stationed at the monitoring satellite station called the Dharma Flame, which was actually pretty cool because I think it was kind of interesting. But again, like Saeed, Kate, and Locke, that the were just wondering what this place was and everything. But again, Mikhail was not to be trusted because he was working with Ben, and all of a sudden, Locke decides to blow up the whole monitor station. It was C4, and and Mikhail was taken prisoner by I said Saeed, Kate, Locke, and also Danny Rousseau. But also, a kind of cool thing is that we also see some other survivors that were kind of like not I don't want to say big characters, like main important characters like major like Kate, Sawyer, Saeed, Hurley, Charlie, etc. And they were known as Nikki and Paolo. Nikki was actually kind of on this series that Hurley loved and nobody knew. It was called Expose, and apparently said she was working with this big Hollywood director, and she killed him in order to get the money. But then again, also I guess her alias, or supposedly I guess her boyfriend, was talking to that high school science teacher. I forgot his name is, but she was able to get a spider called the Medusa spider, and then there was an argument and everything pretty much, and like I said, unfortunately she put this venomous spider called the Medusa spider, where paralysis shuts down if it's different parts of the body and everything, and it's they were all dead and everything. And all of a sudden Hurley was so determined to get this van started. Now like I said, it was the same van that also where Roger's corpse was, who was Ben's father, and all of a sudden they found him running, but Jen said no, wasn't able to start and everything, and all of a sudden near-death experience, and they got to work. But we also see opening more of the background of John Locke, where he basically how he was in the wheelchair, and it was pretty much this con man. I forgot who his name was. Pretty much threw Locke out of the window, and he sort of survived. And all of a sudden, he ends up random mysteriously in the island too. And and Ben was questioning how, and Locke how his question get here, and he said no, he brought him here. And unfortunately, that Sawyer was following Locke too, but apparently he had a con man. He basically this guy, he pretty much conned both Locke and Sawyer, and for reasons and everything. And then this woman, how I'm going to tell you about it. Okay, so her name is Dr. Juliet Burke. Now, she is a fertility doctor, and also I think she's also part geneticist too, because she also determines the birth of the women and how to get pregnant and everything. And like I said, she's a really interesting character. Now, a little more background on her. She actually had a sister named Rachel, and she was suffering from cancer and chemotherapy. And she was stealing all these these antibiotics to help reduce her chemo and everything. And also these group of people who were actually secretly, aka working for Ben, but she had no idea who they were. And basically said her research was fascinating, and they were using it for her research and everything. And but all the things she was also really caring about was protecting her sister. Because she's the one who actually cares for her, and because she loves her and everything. And but then again, like I said, since Ben, I'm telling you right now, she's a bittersweet. Ben is a bittersweet character. She was basically using her for research, and saying that every time women get pregnant now, they die. They make it through the second trimester. But also when son tells them and everything, she finds her pregnant and make sure she was all right. But then again, secretly, after son leaves the station, she finds out she was recording on his recorder, and telling how what was the date of conception, or DOC was an episode when was the baby, what was was it born before and on the island and everything. And then again, also I guess like I said, Desmond, Charlie, and Jim decided to go on for a hunting trip, let's say camping trip. But then again, Desmond gets these flashbacks of these flashes of how Charlie's gonna die, and all of a sudden they meet this new mysterious character called Naomi, which she was they found a satellite phone, and because one of the flashes Desmond saw a helicopter crash, and apparently her name was Naomi. Now, like I said, I just continued the fourth season for you guys, but like I said, that's another video. But Naomi was a very cool character. But again, also the kid, and also Carl, who was Alex's boyfriend. They warned the others that they were not coming tomorrow. They're coming right now to kill him and capture him and everything. And fortunately, that separate event. Well, fortunately, Ben says go hiking with John, pull the gun on him, and shoots him, kills him, almost let him die. But thank God he was able to survive, because the guy who conned John, he gave up his kidney and was able to survive. And then again, he just left him for die. So he took his daughter Alex to making a mutual agreement with and trying to reach the radio tower, because saying that she was Ben was figuring out that saying he was making a huge mistake. And then again, unfortunately, the plan was able to kill the others. Well, fortunately, they would fail and they were taken hostage and everything because they had separate stations to blow up the dynamite. They were able to kill like most of the majority with them because the Black they took the black dynamite from the Black Rock and they were able to take most of it. And then again, like Juliet and Sawyer were like rushing back to make sure. But then again, Juliet like lies about like the weapons cache and everything, their guns and everything. But I don't know. But then again, also like they faked the deaths of like Jin, Jin, Saeed, and Bernard. And fortunately, Hurley goes Grand Theft Auto with that van. He thought it was never going to work. Kills a guy. And Sawyer's like, it's like, nice going, and stay back and try being the hero, which was kind of cool and everything. So I thought that was kind of pretty hilarious. And unfortunately, besides Saeed and Sawyer just kill Ice Cube. Unfortunately, but Naomi did survive that, like I said, she had like a stick in her gut and everything. She was able to trying to decode and everything, the radio situation. And unfortunately, Ben decides to, he caught up with Jack and the rest of the others, and Jack decides to go a little bit of go AWOL and starts, raging and starts to beat the living crap out of Ben, and making him like his face all bloody and bruised, which was kind of like almost the same situation where he was faking his name as Henry Gale. And unfortunately, but then again, the other side of that, where Desmond was taking Charlie down to known as the Looking Glass station, which was another station was underwater. And fortunately, they knew that Charlie said he had to die for the better good of the cause. And but again, he was rained down as like in the last episode, first two part episodes. It's called Looking Glass Parts 1 and 2. That he was like this top best 5 moments in his life. And they were like, let's see, the first time he heard it on the radio, his father, like able to swim, the family ring that his brother Liam gave him, and let's see, the night he met Claire, and what was the one I'm trying to have difficult guys. It's a little bit blurry because it's not pre-rendered yet, but and also like I said, how he was able to do it. But anyways, the other Dharma station was called the Dharma Looking Glass, which was basically like say an underwater like marine base, and was able for satellite communication jamming and everything. And so, like I said, Charlie knocked out Desmond, went underwater, and it was trying to find this this station and everything. And I'm not gonna lie, but this was actually a pretty cool looking base and everything. It was like underwater, submerged. It was isolated and everything. But unfortunately, Charlie gets captured by these two girls named Bonnie and I think Margaret, or I forgot. But fortunately, he gets captured, and interrogating what he's doing down there. He's kind of being a little bit of wise ass and everything. But then again, also Mikhail comes down there and trying to finish the job because he was shooting at Desmond, but he managed to go underwater. But then again, this is kind of like the hardest part to talk about, guys. Mikhail's he survived a harpoon through that Desmond is able to shoot, and pulls a grenade on Charlie, and unfortunately the water starts filling up because he was able to make contact and unjam the single. And unfortunately, it was actually Desmond's girlfriend, Penny. And unfortunately, the boat, however, was not he wrote on his hand before the water was filling up, was called not Penny's boat. Now, I'm wondering, what is that going to mean in the 4th season? And like I said, I'm currently watching it right now, and he was able to read it and everything. But like I said, guys, this is probably the hardest talk about this because we're getting close toward the end of this video. That Charlie's death was probably the hardest thing that was for the greater good. I mean, he sacrificed his life in order to make sure that everyone else is getting rescued, and but then again, I don't know, it was just really hard to watch and everything. But then again, he was able to do it, and like I said, they were making it to the radio tower and make a new recording and unjam the single because Russo made the recording 16 years ago. But again, all of a sudden, John Locke comes in and throws a knife and back in Naomi and and made her practically thought she was gonna kill her and bleed her to death. But again, also that Ben made a confession that Alex is the mother of excuse me, Danielle Russo, and and she doesn't have a clue who she is because she's all like grown up and everything, and she was a mother and everything. And Jack was able to obtain to make the call of the boat and the survivors were like it was Naomi's boat and everything. So and it was like and make sure everyone was all rescued and survive. And then again, this is kind of like the last part of like the episode. It was kind of like totally weird, guys, because it was interesting to see that we see like this, I guess like this part side of Jack that was all like grown he was like high in oxycodone and everything. And then it's kind of cool, interesting that we see Kate, and I'm wondering. I was sitting there, I was watching the episode, like last part of the episode. I'm like, is there some point or another where Kate meets Jack and everything, or is this like a like a flashback or a flash forward after before or after they got rescued on the island? But I don't know, guys. But like I said, I mean, so I really do hope you enjoy like the series because it's really awesome. And oh yeah, also another cool thing, guys. But yesterday on the 22nd was the 10th anniversary of the first episode of Lost, and just a little fun fact for you guys, in case you're wondering. But like I said, guys.